Hey guys, Mike here, and today I wanted to talk about the Unity nested prefab problem. So this is a super annoying issue where in Unity, when you create a prefab and then you try to create a child prefab, it doesn't work. Basically, the parent prefab will override all the child prefabs. You can't have any type of hierarchy of prefabs. So this could be annoying if you want groups of other prefabs. You got a lot of groups. You update one of the child prefabs. There's no more connection. You have to go through and update all of them. So this has been an issue for forever since Unity, and there's a couple of solutions out there. If you Google, you can kind of see some of the current ones. I've been working on my own solution that I want to share. One of the other popular ones from like 2014, I don't know if there's an update, but it's called the Poor Man's Nested Prefab. And what this guy uses, he's got a source on framebunker.com. What he uses is the prefab utility that comes with the Unity editor library, and he just calls instantiate prefab to go through and revert all of the hierarchy of prefabs. So this is an okay solution. I've been working on my own that kind of takes a different approach and has some other benefits that don't really come with using this. So let's go over it, and I'll talk about it a little bit. So here's just a real basic Unity scene with some nice primitives in it. We'll make prefabs from these and kind of see how this all works. So if we go into Prefabulous, which is what I'm calling it right now, let's go to prefabs folder and create some new prefabs. So these are just standard Unity prefabs. Then if we want to make them Prefabulous prefabs, we just add the prefab link, and this should all set itself up nicely. So now if we click on our capsule, it has a reference to the capsule prefab, and if we click revert, it will revert from there. So what this does is it actually uses .NET's reflection library, which is probably what Unity uses in their editor library. But so what's cool about that is, since I'm not using the editor library, this can all happen, just all this prefab functionality can happen while a scene is running, which is pretty sweet. So anyways, let's see, we got our reference here. Let's just go change like the material of this, make it red, and then we revert this, bam, reverts back to whatever it's referenced to. So what else is cool about this is once you make that prefab link, you're not locked into using the prefab you created it from forever like you are with a Unity prefab. So if I want this capsule to be the cube, I can just drag the cube to this prefab reference and revert it, bam, now it's a cube. So that's pretty useful, super duper powerful. Let's go ahead and put it back as a capsule. Voila. Okay, so now let's go over grouping really quick. So let's create an empty GameObject here, create another prefab from it, add prefab link. Cool. Awesome. Now let's just copy these prefab links and put them as children of this GameObject. So let's configure these a little bit differently. Just group them all together or something. Add some stuff. Okay, whatevs. There's our little group. We can apply this. Boop. And we see it apply down here to our GameObject grouping. Cool, that's good enough. And now if we go change another one of our materials, let's just say our cylinder material. Let's change that to green. Now we can revert all of these all at once, everything underneath our grouping even, by just saying I select all my top level prefabs and say revert hierarchy, and bam, you see everything update. So this is super powerful. We can also get some nice feedback here. That it was successful. If there's any issues, it prints information to the console on what it wasn't able to revert and what it was. So it's pretty robust right now. Let me go over one more example of how it works with Frank from Earth and how we use it and why it saves us so much time. So we use it for the groupings of all of our environment objects. So we have all of these environment object prefabs. So this is just like our building blocks of some of our like groupings we use. So what we do is our artist goes through and makes like some groupings that look pretty, right? So she takes all of those and says, okay, here's a pretty little grouping that you can use and populate into the scene. Here's another one, and you populate that into the scene. But then later, if she goes through and she changes something about one of these child prefabs, I have to go through each of these groupings, and I have to manually go find all of the references to those child prefabs and update each one of them. So that could be super duper time consuming when you have like, 50 of these or whatever. So let's go through an example of really how that works. So if she, for instance, changed this tree material to this green tree material, now I can just update this bottom level prefab, and then I can select all of these and say revert hierarchy, and all of them get updated. So that is super duper useful. It saves me a ton of time. I think it'll save you guys time too. Let me know what you think. And any ideas for like any other features I could add or anything would be useful as well. And I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, so feel free to give me some feedback. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.